Hello and welcome to Rage Quit. My name is Jay, and this is a bit of a sad topic, I think, to start 2020 on. And it perhaps isn't really my subject to report on, but I do always say to myself that, and not that I see myself as a journalist, but I always say journalism is saying something that somebody else doesn't want you to say. And in this case, I want to put my ethics forward and call this out because I do think it sort of needs to be said a little bit. So what's happened, and the reason I think it's relevant to this channel particularly is because Sword and Steele, the YouTube channel, the two ladies who run that channel, they did a lot of Warcry stuff, and obviously I've done quite a bit of Warcry stuff, so I sort of suspect you might know them. One of them made a video talking about Vallejo color shifting paints, which they called Colorshift in the video, and to be fair, Vallejo at the time did actually call them Colorshift paints. This phrase is trademarked to Green Stuff World, and Green Stuff World, and this is the key bit. It's not that they contacted them and maybe say, "Oh, can you remove the video" or what have you. It's the fact that they've put a strike on the Sword and Steel channel. And first things first, if anything is to happen, the one thing I think should happen is that strike should be immediately removed as soon as possible. That's not good for the YouTube channel, and it's not going to do well for Green Stuff World's reputation. So there's a caveat to this, right? As you might, the problem with this is, I said I've got to. In a weird way, I feel like I might inadvertently be shooting myself in the foot, but I feel like sometimes you just need to say these things because I've started my terrain channel, Terrain Made Easy. I'm working a bit and bobs in the background, and I actually really like Green Stuff World's products. I've tried their bushes, etc., and all different kinds of stuff, and they are exquisite. And I know they do a lot of work with YouTubers and stuff like that. But I think just on this particular note, they've perhaps fallen foul here a little bit to their own. I don't want to say ego, but like maybe they say the legal department has done this. So let's just talk about it, right? Okay. So it's awkward, but let's just talk about it. So Sword and Steel, the YouTube channel, as I said, they sprung up mainly from, I think, Warcry. I don't know if that's true. It felt like that to me. That's when I first noticed them. And now the caveat to this is there actually appears to be two videos here. They both have the thumbnail, the censored version. However, the confusing thing is, I think this video was the one that was taken down. Now, whether or not they've managed to censor that version as well, now they essentially have two videos of the same video, I suspect. Personally, I would maybe just remove that one myself, as that one's now got more views, probably because of this kind of thing. Like, that's got 20,000 views. So, the Green Stuff World, inadvertently, it's the Streisand effect, inadvertently bringing attention to the competitors' products by doing this, which is always amusing. So in this video, now the problem with this is, right, so Vallejo, Green Stuff World, and I don't necessarily have a problem with this, I don't think anybody has a problem with this, they have a range of paints, they have that phrase colour shift, particularly colour shift is apparently, I think it's either trademarked or copyright, I don't really know the difference. Somebody, if you're a legal expert, don't bother, because the legal advice on the internet is probably insane. But they have the phrase colour shift trademarked, right? So when Vallejo came to do their paints, they initially called them colour shift, and I think on the box they might even, and on the packaging it might even say colour shift. Now, if it's all one word, that's a problem because it's Green Stuff World's trademark, right? They've since been in discussions with Vallejo, etc., and they've made them change it to The Shifters, right? A bit of not a great name, but whatever, there it is. And you can actually see on there, it actually says Colour Shift. I don't know if you can see that. It actually says Colour Shift there, right? So the packaging already says that. So, I said, even here it says Colour Shift, and I'm not sure what this last one is. Yeah, it says Colour Shift, but my big fat head's in the way. So, fair enough. They trademarked this. Vallejo came along, made that, but it turns out Green Stuff World already trademarked it, so they've asked Vallejo to change it. Inadvertently, Sword and Steel, I think, were sent perhaps some of the original prototype, maybe first copies of these paints, and did a video on them. And then Green Stuff World was like, well, if you want to watch the video, I strongly suggest you watch this video. It explains what actually happened, perhaps in a little bit more detail. Come along, sent an email. Well, they actually removed the video and I copy strike the channel. Now, the problem with the copy strike, the strike, is you get 3 of those and your channel's done. So it's imperative for me that is removed as soon as possible. That shouldn't be there, and I think it's probably an abuse of that system. I don't really feel like that belongs. It's not really what it's for. She reviewed something that she didn't create. I'm saying she because if I'm honest, I don't really watch this channel. It's nothing in particular. I just stopped playing Warcry and mainly concentrating on Marvel Crisis Protocol, and I don't think they've done too much on that. But so one of the ladies has said they've got a product that, yes, may have the wrong name on it, but they're not to know. Vallejo, as far as I know, didn't tell them. She's reviewed this product just as you would, called it by its name as you would, and then Green Stuff World have come along and copy strike that channel, like give it a strike. I mean, right, there's a couple of things there that's the problem. One, I don't think even if you have the rights to that name, even if Vallejo had just done this and you hadn't contacted them and stuff like that, you shouldn't be striking people's channels for that without really talking to them first. Like, could Green Stuff World have just messaged them and be like, hey, could you either take that video down or redo it because we've had this thing where we've actually been talking to Vallejo, they shouldn't have named their patents like that because we actually have that trademark. I'm sure the response would have been more like, yeah, all right. But it seems like this just came out of the blue. So, and secondly, like, can you even strike somebody for that, really? I'm not even sure because Sword and Steele didn't really do anything. They're just reviewing a product and then naming it as it is. It's not for, to me, that sounds like fair use. Do you know what I mean? It's not for them to say, well, actually, this product here was, let's say, I want to say illegal, but technically shouldn't exist. I'm not going to make this product. They didn't make the product in the first place. It's Vallejo, really, who should be taking the blame there. I don't feel like, obviously Sword and Steele did absolutely nothing wrong, and therefore should not really suffer in any way. The nicest thing Green Stuff World could have done would have just been to leave it and maybe even just comment on the video, just be like, actually, this term is our term. Going forward, can you please use this? Nobody would have really said anything. Secondly, if you're not going to do that, just message them and say, can you maybe edit this video, take it down, change it a little bit? We have that term. Would that be okay? Thanks. But resorting to striking the channel, it's a weird one at best, isn't it? I just don't think that's a good thing to do. Now, where does that put us? I think maybe the fact that that video has returned, maybe the channel, the strike has been removed, maybe on the video. Not 100% sure about that. If so, great. If not, as I said, that is the first thing the Green Stuff World should do. I hope this doesn't really impact anybody in the community too harshly. As I said, Green Stuff World's products are actually fantastic, but we shouldn't really be doing this kind of stuff. I don't want to say frivolously or willy-nilly, but that's sort of how it feels. To just do that without commenting or asking the question first feels a little bit harsh and unfair. But I do wish that it's resolved quickly. Now, the problem with this is, it is the 1st of January today, as I'm recording this. That's New Year's Day. If I'm honest, people from Green Stuff World probably aren't really working until either tomorrow or at worst Monday. So this, however, should be done relatively speedily. I don't think it's great. It's a great look. People are saying should they even own the term Colorshift. They weren't the first ones to do that. People are saying all different kinds of stuff, which I won't put here. But the problem with this is once you start getting the communities back riled up, people start looking for reasons to dislike you, and I think there's a definite risk of that. So hopefully it's solved quickly. Green Stuff World products are pretty decent. There's already seen people like Black Magic Craft has commented in the video saying he's not going to use their products. Maniac's been saying, like, is this resolved? So there's people in the community who've taken note. It's not just, I'm not just a randomer, but I always think, let's, as a community, try and get things like this sorted quickly and as easily and amicably as possible. And I don't think it's time to boycott Green Stuff World until they sort it or anything like that. But really, this should be sorted as soon as possible. That's it. So I'm sort of half finished the room. There's probably some shelves to go up. There's bits of stuff I want to sort on the desk. It's obviously just a mess at the minute. These are just blocking you can't actually see, it's so dark. They're blocking stuff, but the room is almost sorted, so we're getting there. I might get rid of this white blob here because I think it looks a bit weird, but hopefully Sword and Steel will get this sorted. Hopefully that the fact that the video is sort of already back is an indication that it could be getting resolved. Hopefully. I will say just go and subscribe to them if you want to keep up with the information. That's probably the best way to do it. Have a most beautiful day. I'd say like and subscribe if you're in that kind of video. Goodbye.